I just want to kind of reflect today on the concept of the mural. Let me get back a bit. So I think I've mentioned that this mural is called The Power of Potential, and it's a tree, and there will be a little girl. I haven't painted her yet. So it's working on the metaphor of a seed, and it's something I think it's funny. Like, science explains certain things, and then we think we understand them, but they're actually so magical. Like, if you think about a seed, like a seed, say, an oak tree grows from an acorn. An acorn is year big, right? And all that acorn gets is sunshine and water. Sunshine's a completely abstract thing. We can see it and we can feel it, but we can't like touch it or grasp it. It's light. It's literally a frequency. And then water as well is like such a magical substance. So, and it seems like so simple, it's just water, right? But no, it holds so much, because an acorn becomes a fully grown oak tree, like just through sun and water and soil. It's like, it's so hard to put into words, but like it blows my mind, the things that a seed can do given the right support and environment and nourishment. And every acorn, obviously this is just the metaphor, I'm just using an acorn as an example. Every acorn holds within it the potential energy to become a fully grown fucking oak tree, like a huge giant tree, my guys. But if you look at a little acorn, like, it's like it blows my mind. And that's why I'm loving this concept, the power of potential, because I love the idea of potential energy. It's something I've been very intrigued by for quite a long time. The whole tree is there, you know, just like the egg and the sperm. All of the information is there. Once they come together and they sit in the uterus and they start growing, a whole human being, like a whole human, what the hell comes out of that? Like, it blows my mind. How these tiny things can become these fully fledged, super complex, magical beings like trees and humans. But yeah, so like potential is all about, like, it's always there, but it needs time and it needs space and it needs nourishment in order to bloom to its full potential. And I love that metaphor with regards to human beings, because we all have potential within us, but if that potential is not nourished, it won't be reached. So that's why I'm quite keen to do this at a school and work with primary school learners. It's quite cool, actually. I'm working with the grade 7 girls. At the end of this year, they're going off to high school. So it's really good timing to be workshopping their individual potential. The whole idea of the workshop is going to be, what potential do I hold as an individual? What potential hurdles will I face on my journey to reaching that potential? What solutions can I develop, or tools can I have in my toolkit? What solutions can I brainstorm to overcome those hurdles in order to reach my full potential and become the being that I know I have the potential to be? Yeah. And just us as humans, dude, that's so, like, I know I need to write scripts and I need to conceptualize my thoughts a little better, because I can be so rambly sometimes, but also life is abstract and thoughts are frequencies, and when we try put them into like a little sentence that makes complete sense to every single person watching this video, it becomes very limiting. But yeah, in so many words, I am really just trying to express my utter awe at potential and the power that potential has to unfurl like a plant, given time and space and nutrients. But obviously the flip side of that is that if we aren't nourished, or if we're planted into negative, or what's the word, like counterproductive environment, our growth and our potential can be stunted. I personally perceive myself to have been someone who was born into a very arid and unfertile landscape. There was not a lot of love, there was not a lot of nourishment in my seedling years, and it was quite a hard journey for me to dig deep and find nourishment from other sources because they weren't from my immediate environment, and to hang on and hold on and believe that one day I would have breakthroughs and I would be living in a better world. And I definitely would say I am today. I'm very surrounded by love. I've got a lot of really good relationships. I've got beautiful friendships. I've got a beautiful partner. I've got good relationships with my family. I am developing a professional career that really inspires me. So the life that I have curated for myself is really wonderful, and I'm very grateful to be living it. But it wasn't always that way, and it was a lot of hard work to get here. But I don't know, I don't want to overtalk. There's so much in this, and I feel like this is the beginning of a lifelong career that I've already got so much vision for, and as I paint, I'm gaining more vision and more insight and more inspiration as to the path that I'm on. And I'm feeling very excited, but I'm also just being present day by day, brushstroke by brushstroke, moment by moment, letting the path unfold. And that's another thing about potential, is that you have to start to progress along the journey. I never knew I would end up here 3 years ago. There was no promise that I would. I've taken the steps to get here, and now this year, 2025, I feel like I've made this guy's got a sore foot, pigeon. I've made the most progress I ever have in my life, I feel, in this year. But that's actually not true. That's external progress. It's like my physical bloom in the outside world is becoming more apparent, but that's because of many, many years of roots and unseen work going on behind the scenes and below the surface. But yeah, it's been a really cool year this year of really feeling like my material world and my real life circumstance are starting to mirror all the work that I've done on the inside. And I do feel like I'm beginning to reach towards this great potential that I know my life has. Why am I so obsessed with potential and purpose? Because I nearly died when I was a teenager, and I was different. I was a different kid before that happened. Ask anyone who knew me at that age. But when that happened, I just had such a strong knowing in my spirit that there was a lot more to life than having a job and paying bills. And I'm not saying, obviously we live in reality, the way the world is shaped at the moment. We do need jobs, and we do have to pay bills, and we have to buy petrol to drive places, and life costs money, and it's irrational and delusional to think that you can't, that you can get by without money. But it's not the meaning of life. It's not one's purpose. And I think it's really wonderful if we can find a way to make money that's in alignment with our purpose. But it's also okay and totally normal and natural if our purpose lies outside of our career or our job. That's okay too. Passion doesn't have to be what pays, but passion can and does pay. Anyway, there's a lot in this mural. There's a lot still to come, and I love that my first proper mural, first ever, besides one that I never completed when I was like a teenager, my first ever mural in Cape Town is the power of potential, and it's all about seeding potential and believing and striving towards one's potential as an individual and as an individual within a community. I love that that's my first mural and I'm really keen to see what unfolds from here. But anyway, let me eat my lunch and stop chewing your ear off instead of my food.